I thought that we should first talk, and Corona has already started with us. I thought that we should first start to find out what you know about Africa, about the continent, about the people, about the geography, about the history. And don't be shy to say things. This thing is not going to be broadcast. So say what you think and anything that you've learned as a child or prejudice that you think you have, and whether you know any other people from Africa. Now, my view is that we all Africans who live on the continent, that African and Africa is not synonymous or the same as being black, okay? Because if you look at what Africa is, just in terms of color, if you're going to say, well, Africans are blacks, then you're going to make a mistake because there are more black people than other people. You go into Uganda and Southern Sudan, you find people will make you look white, you know? Have you seen people so black in Southern Sudan and in, you see, and so that you go, and then you go into Ethiopia and into North Africa. Now there are all sorts of questions which we're going to go work through. But my understanding of Africa, and I think the understanding that is we should have, it's firstly a geographical concept. Africa and its islands. And this is also a geographical construct. So everything that happens on the continent of Africa is of importance for me. The history, the geography, the literature, the languages, and the islands. There are many islands around here. And even parts of European history and Asian history, because that impacted Africa. We can't understand African history without understanding some things that happened in Europe. Do you know how many kilometers separate the closest part of Europe to Africa?
Which is France?
Huh?
Which is France?
No.
This is Ghana. The one who was cut like.
No, the Suez Canal is there. The Suez Canal is there. But what is the closest part? It's Gibraltar. It's there where Portugal and Spain is, okay? Now that's about anything. If you look, you can stand in Morocco and you can look at it. It's like you can look at Europe, anything from 14 to 40 kilometers, this distance here. We need to get a very good map of Africa.
Will that one do?
Yes, that's good. So if you look at that map there, I'm going to be on the camera, but show it close up. If you look at that, that's about 14 to 44 kilometers. You can swim, a good swimmer who can do the Robben. If you swim, Robben Island is about 11 kilometers. This is 14. Madagascar, that's straight there is 1,000 kilometers. And this is part of the AU. So when those countries become poor and they can join the AU when we become rich. You see, the people, they're going to come here. They already, the Portuguese, there are more Portuguese in Africa now than there was during colonial times because the Portuguese economy is so bad. So they're all coming to Africa. By the way, do you know which countries were controlled by the Portuguese in the past? Huh?
I think I got few.
Now tell me the names. Okay, just tell me the names in Southern Africa. Just tell me the countries. We're going to speak as it goes.
Southern Africa, it's Botswana.
No, Botswana was British.
It's Mozambique.
Mozambique.
Okay.
Mozambique was a colony of the Portuguese. So that little country, the weakest and the smallest of the European colonial powers, controlled Mozambique, which is a massive country. And what other country?
Angola.
Correct. Okay? And some other countries, Guinea-Bissau. Yeah, we're going to learn about it. So Do you know anybody from Mozambique? Anybody has any friends from Mozambique?
Yeah.
So maybe you should try, maybe that person will know some Portuguese. Because even though they left Mozambique, the language that is used officially in government and so on is Portuguese. Okay, so you can challenge me. You can tell me, listen here, that's not my understanding of Africa. Africa is a continent for black people, and so on. Or Africa is only from south of the Sahara, the south of the desert. The other part of Africa, that's part of the Arab world. You know, we can talk about it, and I want us to debate this. What is Africa? Where is Africa? Who belongs in Africa? And so on. So you will say, okay, well, we only consider these countries Africa. We only consider these because they're black. And those countries, they white. Okay? The countries, that so-called Arab countries. And you can say, well, we have to live with these countries that have white populations. But actually, Africa belongs to black people. If you want to debate that, we can debate that. But for this course, we're going to take Africa to be the entirety of this surface and the islands and everybody who identifies with this continent, where whatever their color, whatever their religion, whatever their language, we consider to be African.